Come with me to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the movie Jaws. The original summer blockbuster debuted in movie theaters on June 20th, 1975, and Universal Studios is celebrating all summer long. The movie takes place in the fictional town of Amity Island. Now, the ride itself originally opened in Orlando in 1990, and another installment of the ride later opened up at Universal Studios Japan in 2001. The ride used tour boats to take guests through a harbor of the fictional Amity Island, which began as a leisurely tour that was interrupted by an attack of the famous great white shark, of course known as Jaws. The concept is an expanded version of the Jaws miniature attraction featured in the studio tour at Universal Studios Hollywood, California. In 2012, the attraction was removed from Florida to make room for a second phase of the expansion for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So let's talk about the ride experience itself. The ride took place as a harbor tour around Amity Island hosted by Captain Jake's Amity Boat Tours. It was a routine harbor cruise that turned terrifying when the infamous great white shark, Jaws, returns. Some major scenes from the ride included the sight of a sunken tour boat, which was Amity 3. There were shark attacks that used animatronics and practical effects. Then the skipper hid us in a boathouse until the shark broke in. There was gas dock explosions due to a misfired grenade. The shark eventually electrocuted itself by biting a power cable. And then there was one final animatronic lunge before it was killed by the sniper. Of course, the signature line, 10 minutes? We'll be shark bait in 10 minutes. Following the opening of Jaws within the park on June 7, 1990, it experienced frequent breakdowns as a result of the elaborate special effects involved, as did other opening rides such as Kong and Earthquake. However, while Universal was able to eventually resolve the many technical bugs that Kong and Earthquake had, the Jaws ride continued to have issues and was often evacuated on a daily basis. Things only got worse for the ride Jaws. Following the hurricanes that struck Central Florida in 2004, Universal was forced to temporarily close the ride in January 2005 due to the rising cost of petroleum, which was used to fuel the numerous pyrotechnical effects throughout the attraction, as well as the tour boats. The ride did finally reopen in December 2005, but was listed as seasonal and was only open on busier days at the park. This lasted until February 2007, when the ride was fully open full-time, only because numerous guests were complaining that they missed the ride and they wanted it open. During the 2005 closure, several renovations were made to the ride. The attraction was further refurbished every year, from 2008 to 2011. So then on December 2nd, 2011, Universal Orlando announced that the Jaws attraction, along with the entire Amity area of Universal Studios, would close permanently on January 2nd, 2012, to make room for an exciting new experience, which we later know would be the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. The attraction officially closed on January 2nd, 2012 at 9 p.m. with skipper Michael Skipper given the final voyage to the last 48 guests. By the next morning, the entire Amity area was walled off and completely demolished in the following months. The hanging shark statue from the town square remains as a tribute to the ride and can still be found in Fisherman's Wharf area of the San Francisco section of the park. So let's jump to present-day Universal Studios and Jaws. While you know that this year is Jaws' 50th anniversary, and despite the ride not being there anymore, Universal Studios has done a fantastic job preserving much of Amity Island and even adding a lot of sweet treats. Check out this wall of some of their favorite skippers throughout the year. Maybe you recognize some skippers that you've had as tour guides back in the day. So next time you and your family visit Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, definitely make time to visit Amity Island in the Fisherman Wharf section of San Francisco. There is so much to still see and do and eat and drink despite the ride Jaws not being there anymore. Speaking of food and drinks, you definitely want to make a stop here at the Fisherman's Wharf to experience some real New England food.
Mayor, I have to ask, are the beaches going to be open on the 4th of July?
Of course they are. Of course they are. Right now, no, they will not. No, they'll be open or my name's down there.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
You had time to change out of all this, you know that, right?
You cannot miss the parade at Universal. That was Mayor Vaughn and Chief Brody interacting with the crowd and essentially fighting with each other to determine if the beaches at Amity Island were going to open up on July 4th weekend. So let's talk merchandise. Universal Studios has done a fantastic job with their Jaws 50th year anniversary merchandise. Everything from hats to shirts to even some vintage Jaws merchandise, you name it, they have it. So be sure to make a stop there. And do not leave hungry. This is the bucket of bait that includes oysters and shrimp and clams over French fries and a good New England lager beer. You will not be disappointed. For sure, get one throughout your day. And what's a trip to Universal Studios Orlando without getting the famous Jaws drink? This drink is available at Chess Alcatraz, which is the small bar located next to the San Francisco Candy Company. This drink features Malibu coconut rum, Captain Morgan spice rum, black raspberry liqueur, orange cranberry pineapple juices, and more. Plus the presentation, as you can see here alone, is fantastic. They also had the 1975 Jaws souvenir cups that you could upgrade to. And it is a delicious drink, but a wonderful presentation besides that. Unfortunately, as of now, there are no plans to bring back the Jaws ride at Universal Studios Orlando. So that means for all the Jaws lovers out there, in order for us to go down memory lane, a trip to Universal Studios Orlando this summer is a must to see and experience all that is being offered for the Jaws 50th anniversary. This can all be found throughout the park, but especially at Amity Island at San Francisco's Fisherman Wharf. Experience the food, the drinks, the merchandise, to just get a glimpse of the past of what was such a special memory, an amazing ride that Universal Studios housed for many years that unfortunately is no longer there, but the memory will live on forever. Thanks for watching the Jaws 50th Anniversary History and Tour at Universal Studios Orlando with 305 Sports Babe. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel at 305 Sports Babe for more travel adventure videos. And before I let you go, let's go down memory lane one more time forever and remember this classic gem that once lived at Universal Studios Orlando, Florida.